The sky over Earth was red that evening. Dust blew across the quiet farmland where Jack lived. His house was small, his tools were old, but his heart was big. Jack was a mechanic. He fixed machines, cleaned old robots, and sometimes helped the village people with water systems. He lived alone, except for a robot dog named Bolt. Bolt was made from scrap parts, but it was loyal. One night, Jack was closing his barn when Bolt started barking. Not a normal bark, this was different. Urgent. Jack grabbed a flashlight. "What is it, boy?" Bolt ran toward the back of the barn behind the crates. Jack followed. As the light hit the corner, his heart stopped. Someone was there. Lying in the hay was a strange-looking woman. Her skin was pale silver. Her eyes glowed faintly. She wore what looked like armor, but it was broken and burned. Her breathing was weak. "Who are you?" Jack asked softly. She opened her mouth, her voice low and shaking. Don't tell them I'm here." Jack didn't know what to do. She was clearly not human. An alien, right in his barn. "You're hurt," he said. "I'll get help." "No," she said, grabbing his wrist. Her fingers were cold but strong. "They'll find me, please, I need to hide." Jack hesitated. He had heard stories. Aliens were never alone, and humans weren't supposed to help them. But her eyes, they weren't dangerous. They were full of fear. "Okay," he said. "You can stay, but just for now." Inside the house, Jack gave her a blanket and a hot drink. She sat quietly, watching everything. "I'm Jack," he said. "You got a name?" She looked at him with tired eyes. "Zalira." Jack nodded. "Zalira, that's beautiful." She didn't smile. "I was not supposed to be here. I was sent away." "Why? What happened to you?" She took a breath. "I was part of the royal family, from a planet called Violora." Jack raised his eyebrows. "Royalty? I was declared infertile," she said quietly. "To our people. That means useless. The king, my father, sent me as a gift to the humans, but really it was exile. No one was supposed to care." Jack sat down across from her. "So they just threw you away?" She nodded. "They think I can never have a child, so I have no future, no power, no worth." Jack felt something twist inside his chest. "That's wrong," he said. "Where I come from, people don't throw others away like that." Zalira looked at him. Her eyes softened. For a moment she wasn't a princess, she was just a person. Cold, scared, and alone. Days passed. Jack let her stay in the old guest room. He brought her food and clothes. Zalira moved slowly, still, healing from her injuries. But there was something strange. At night, Jack noticed lights in the sky. Ships. He heard whispers in town. Alien patrols. Searching for something. A princess went missing. One evening, Bolt barked again. Jack ran outside and saw a black drone flying above his barn. "They're looking for you," Jack said. "I know," Zalira whispered. "They will not stop." Jack helped hide her deeper underground in the basement covered with metal sheets and robot parts. "You risk too much," she told him. Jack just smiled. "It's what we humans do." One morning, Jack found her looking at the stars. "I never thought I'd feel safe here," she said. "You're not just safe," Jack replied. "You're welcome." Something strange passed between them. Not love, not yet, but something new. Trust. But far above, in space, someone was watching. A message was sent. A secret had been found. The king would not be pleased. For the first time in weeks, Zalira felt warm. Jack's home was small but peaceful. The sound of tools clicking, the smell of metal, oil, and wood, the soft hum of the heater. These things were strange to her but comforting. But her peace was a lie, and she knew it. One morning, while Jack worked outside fixing a water pump, Zalira explored the basement where she had been hiding. It was filled with old machines, wires, and blinking lights. Her fingers brushed across a dusty computer console. A screen lit up. The human language was odd, but she could understand most of it now. She opened a communication log. Her eyes widened. Jack had been watching the news from space stations. Reports of a missing royal, secret alerts to bounty hunters, surveillance footage of a woman entering a human village. She leaned back against the wall, her heart racing. They know I'm here. That night, Jack returned with fresh food and a smile. Made some stew, not the best, but it'll keep you alive. Salira didn't smile. You knew, she said quietly. Jack froze. Knew what? You've been reading reports, watching Valoran channels. Jack sighed and sat down. Yeah, I saw the alerts. I didn't tell you because I didn't want to scare you. You should have told me. They're coming. I know, Jack said. That's why I'm building a scrambler to hide your life signal. Give us a few more days. Salira's voice dropped. There's something else I didn't tell you either. Jack looked up. I was not just any royal, she said. I was promised to be the next queen, chosen by the stars. But when I failed to produce an heir by age 25, they called me cursed. My father turned cold. The council feared me. My gift was not to Earth, it was a public shame. Jack didn't speak. He saw the pain in her eyes, the anger hidden behind her calm face. Do you know what they told me as they threw me into that ship? She whispered. That I should be thankful. That humans are soft creatures. That maybe someone would be kind enough to keep me alive. Jack clenched his jaw. That's not kindness. That's cruelty in a different dress. Suddenly Salira winced. Her hand moved to her side. You okay? Jack asked. She nodded, but her face said otherwise. Jack helped her sit. You've been pale for days. It's nothing, but she collapsed. Jack carried her to the small medical bed in the back room. He powered up an old scanner, patched, with alien tech from a salvaged Valoran probe. The scanner hummed and glowed. Jack stared at the screen. The reading made no sense. Heartbeat. 2. DNA markers. Hybrid detected. Wait. No, that can't be right, he muttered. Salira opened her eyes slowly. What is it? Jack hesitated. Salira, you're pregnant. Silence. She stared at him, stunned. I can't be, she said. It's impossible. The scans, never wrong, Jack said. She sat up, shaking. The doctors on Velora tested me dozens of times. I was barren. My womb was declared sealed by fate. Jack looked at her. Maybe it just needed something different. You mean a human? They both went quiet. Jack felt the weight of the moment hit him hard. This changes everything, doesn't it? Salira nodded slowly. If the king finds out, he will see the child as a threat to the throne. Then we keep it secret, Jack said firmly. No one finds out. We protect this child. Outside, the house in the dark fields, a small surveillance drone blinked. It had seen everything, and someone far away deep in the stars was watching. The wind howled that night, but inside Jack's small house everything was quiet. Too quiet. Salira sat on the edge of the bed, staring at her hands. They were trembling. Not from fear, but from something far deeper. Confusion, shock, and maybe hope. A child. Her child. She touched her stomach gently. It was still flat. But inside something had begun, something no one believed possible, not even her. I wasn't supposed to have life inside me, she whispered. I was called broken, empty, a mistake of genetics. Jack leaned against the doorway, watching her. Then maybe the mistake was in them, not you. She looked up at him. You don't understand. On my world, fertility is sacred. They test every child at birth. If a girl shows low potential, she's monitored. If her numbers drop, she is labeled. That label follows her forever. Jack walked in and sat beside her. You're more than a label. She shook her head. They don't care. This child, it changes everything, but not in a way they will accept. That same night, Across the galaxy, a cold metallic voice echoed in the Vyloran royal chamber. Transmission confirmed. Genetic proof attached. King Malveth stood, his golden cloak flowing behind him. His face, though alien, was filled with fire. "My daughter," he growled. "That traitor carries an heir, with a human." The council remained silent. The king's eyes narrowed. "Send the shadows. Burn the village. Bring me the child. Or burn the earth if you must." Back on Earth, Zalira woke with a start. Her body was burning. Something was happening. She stumbled to the mirror. Her veins glowed faintly under her skin, blue and gold patterns pulsing like light circuits. "Jack!" she cried out. He rushed in, half asleep. "What's wrong?" "I don't know. I feel different." Jack grabbed his scanner again and ran another test. His hands trembled as he read the results. The child's DNA wasn't just hybrid, it was evolving. The fetus was adapting, faster than human science had ever seen. "It's accelerating," he said in disbelief. "The baby's not just growing, it's rewriting your body, healing you, empowering you." Zalira gasped. "You mean, you're not just fertile anymore," Jack whispered. "You're changing. Your body's becoming something new." Outside, a deep hum filled the sky. Bolt, Jack's robot dog, growled. Lights blinked on its head, sensors picking up heat and movement. Jack grabbed his pulse rifle. "We've got company." He ran to the door and looked through the scope. Above the trees, a small alien drone was watching them. He shot it down in one clean blast, but he knew the damage was done. "They found us," he said. Zalira stood in the hallway, a strange calm on her face now. "Then we run." Jack turned. "Run where?" "To the mountains," she said. "You told me once there were old ruins there, hidden places. We need time. Time for the child to grow. Time to prepare." As they packed what they could, Jack looked at her again. She didn't look weak anymore. Her eyes were brighter. Her skin shimmered faintly. She stood tall, like a queen. "You're glowing," he said softly. Zalira smiled faintly. Maybe that's what happens when something impossible becomes real. Far above Earth, 3 Valoran warships entered the planet's orbit. Cloaked, silent, deadly. Their leader, Commander Threx, received a final order. Do not fail. The heir must not live. A royal scream echoed across the marble halls of the Valoran Palace. King Malveth stood in front of a glowing star map, his fists clenched tight, his eyes burning gold. The image of his daughter, Zalira, was frozen mid-frame. She looked stronger now, alive, and in her eyes, defiance. She dared, he growled. She dared to carry a child with a human. The War Council stood silent. No one dared speak. The air itself felt heavy. "This child is an insult to the throne," the king shouted. "Half-blood, hybrid filth. It will never wear my crown." An old advisor stepped forward, trembling. "Sire, the people remember Zalira. She was loved by many. News of her survival will spread, and if they learn she has an heir—" "They won't," the king thundered. "Commander Threx will end it." He turned to the giant holoscreen and opened a live feed to the warship above Earth. "Commander," he said coldly, "burn every path she might take. Leave no trace. And if the child is born, make sure it never breathes." Far below, on Earth's surface, Jack's old truck rattled through the forest roads. The mountains were close now. Zalira sat beside him, wrapped in a long cloak. Her eyes scanned the sky. "They're here," she said. "I know," Jack replied. "You can feel them." She nodded. "My blood is still tied to the Valoran command grid. I can sense their warships, like a storm coming." Suddenly, Bolt, riding in the back, began to beep wildly. Jack pulled the truck to a stop. "What is it, boy?" A flash of blue fire dropped from the sky, hitting the road behind them. Trees exploded. The earth shook. "They've found us!" Jack shouted. They ran. through the trees over rocks and roots with Bolt scanning escape paths. Behind them, shadow soldiers landed, tall, armored, moving silently like ghosts. Zelira turned and raised her hand. A burst of energy shot from her palm, throwing one soldier into a tree. Jack's eyes widened. "Where did that come from?" She gasped. "The baby. It's unlocking parts of me I didn't know existed." They kept running until they reached an old cave entrance, one Jack remembered from his scavenger days. They ducked inside. "We can hold them off here," he said. "No," Zelira whispered. "You must go. I'm not leaving you." "But," she shook her head. "You must protect the child. If I fall, he must live." Jack stepped forward. "Don't talk like that." She looked at him, and for the first time tears welled in her glowing eyes. "I never thought I would mean something again," she said. "But now I do. Not because of a crown, not because of a throne, but because of you. And him." Outside, the cave, the soldiers lined up. Commander Threx stepped forward, raising a hand to signal the final attack. But before he gave the command, another voice spoke from behind. "You are making a mistake." Threx turned. A hooded Velaran stepped from the shadows. It was General Corvin, Zalira's cousin. "She is a traitor," Threx growled. "You said that yourself." Corvin lowered his hood. "I said she was cast out, not that she was wrong." The king fears the future," Corvin interrupted. "But fear doesn't stop change. It only delays it." Then Corvin turned and walked away. He had made his choice. Inside the cave, Zelira whispered softly to the unborn child, "I will not let them take you." The glow on her skin pulsed. Jack took her hand. Whatever came next, they would face it together. Far above in the royal palace, King Malveth stood alone in the Hall of Ancestors. The statues of former rulers stared silently. As if judging him, he looked at the empty throne beside his own, the one meant for Zelira. His hand tightened on the cold stone. "This is not over," he said. A storm rolled over the Earth Mountains, but it wasn't natural. In the dark skies above, Vyloran dropships hovered silently. Their black hulls blended into the clouds. Inside each one, elite alien hunters stood ready, trained to kill without mercy, without questions. But their target was not a soldier. She was a princess. She was pregnant, and she was running. Jack's boots slammed into the wet ground as he pulled Zelira through the mountain trail. Behind them, Bolt scouted ahead, scanning for life signs. Zelira was getting weaker, not because she was injured, but because the child inside her was growing fast. Too fast. Her body shook with every step. "Just a little further," Jack said, gripping her hand. "Old smuggler cave's near. It's deep and shielded. They won't find us there." Zelira nodded, her eyes flickering with light. "He's getting stronger," she whispered. "The baby, he's not like me, or you." Jack looked at her. "What do you mean?" But before she could answer, Bolt let out a sharp alarm. "Movement, 200 meters, closing fast." Jack didn't stop. "We're out of time." The trail narrowed between two rocks. Jack led her into a hidden path only he knew from his scavenger days. They slipped inside just before a blast of energy hit the ground behind them, melting stone and grass alike. The shadows had arrived. 3 alien assassins, cloaked in shimmering armor, stepped into the valley. One of them held a scanner. 2 targets, he said coldly. "Female carries royal blood, hybrid signature confirmed." "Orders?" asked another. "No survivors," the leader replied. Inside the cave, Jack quickly activated the shield generator he had hidden years ago. Blue static filled the entrance, an old Earth Valoran hybrid tech he built from war scraps. "We've got maybe 10 minutes, he said. "Then they'll break through." Zelira's breathing was heavy. "I can't keep running, Jack. I need to rest." "You'll get more than rest," said a voice from the shadows. Jack turned sharply, pulse, gun raised, but what he saw made his hand drop. General Corvin stepped forward, arms raised. "You," Zelira gasped. "You came?" He nodded. "The king is blind. He sees only bloodlines." I see something else. A future. Jack didn't trust him. You're one of them. I was, Corvin said calmly. But now, I choose her. Corvin handed Jack a small device. This will mask her signature for one Earth day, but it's not enough. We just need to reach the crash site, Jack said. There's an old Valoran ship buried in the next ridge. If we get it flying, we can leave this planet. Corvin looked at Zelira. You think they'll stop chasing you out there? Zelira looked up, fire returning to her eyes. No, but out there I can make them listen. The cave shook as the shadows attacked the shield. Sparks flew. Rock cracked. We have to move now, Jack shouted. He grabbed the gear while Corvin helped Zelira up. They slipped out a side tunnel just as the shield collapsed. The trail to the crash site was rough. The ship had fallen decades ago, a Royal Scout ship lost in the first human-Valoran war. Jack had hidden its core long ago, thinking it was useless. Now it was their only hope. They reached the site, an old crater surrounded by jagged rocks. The ship was buried under stone and vines but still intact. Jack rushed to the control panel. I'll try to bring it online. Cover me. Corvin stood at the ridge, scanning the skies. Zelira stood silently, her hand on her stomach. I can feel him, she whispered. Our son, he's calling. Suddenly, the sky exploded with light. The shadows had tracked them. A new wave of soldiers descended from above. Corvin raised his sword. Jack shouted over the noise, Buy me 5 minutes. The battle began. Jack reconnected wires, rerouted power, bypassed damaged systems. The ship's core hummed. Zelira stepped into the cockpit. The systems recognized her. Royal DNA confirmed. Welcome, Princess Zelira. Her eyes glowed. We're leaving, she said. Corvin, bleeding and wounded, smiled as he covered their escape. Fly far, cousin, he said. And make them remember your name. The ship roared to life and blasted into the sky. Behind them, the earth burned, but in front of them was the galaxy. The stars outside the ship were endless, dark, silent, watching. Inside the ancient Valoran scout ship, things were far from calm. Zelira lay on the floor of the ship's medbay, her body shaking with pain. Jack knelt beside her, holding her hand tight. Sweat ran down her silver skin. Her breathing was heavy. The moment they had feared and hoped for had come. The baby, she gasped. He's coming. Jack's heart pounded. It's too soon. We need a doctor, a med unit, anything. There's no time, Zelira whispered. Suddenly, the ship's lights flickered. The energy core groaned. Bolt beeped from the corner. Warning, power unstable. Life support weakening. Jack swore under his breath. Great. Perfect timing. He turned to the panel and slammed a button. Auto med mode. Engage. The ship's ancient medical system blinked, confused. Species unknown. Hybrid signature not found in records. I don't care, Jack shouted. Just help her. Zelira's eyes closed tightly. But inside her, something ancient had awakened. This was no normal birth. Her body, once believed lifeless and infertile, now glowed with symbols. Valoran runes that hadn't been seen in centuries. And the child inside her. He was not just a baby. He was the first of a new kind. As the pain grew sharper, Zelira remembered the stories. The old myths whispered in secret by the royal nurses about a future child born from 2 worlds. A child who would end one empire and build another. A child born in exile, in hiding, in pain. A child whose first cry would shake the stars. Jack held her close, his voice trembling. You can do this. I'm right here. I'm scared, she said, tears running down her cheeks. So am I, Jack said. But we don't have to be brave alone. She nodded, and then with a scream that echoed through metal walls, she gave birth. For a moment, there was only silence. Then a cry, high-pitched, loud, but strange, not fully human, not fully Valoran, something in between. something new. The lights in the ship flickered again, but this time, they glowed brighter. The power core stabilized. Systems reset. Life support returned to normal. Bolt beeped, in surprise. Energy spike detected, source, newborn. Jack looked down at the baby in his arms. His skin shimmered faintly. His eyes, already open, glowed gold and blue. He didn't look weak. He looked aware. Is this normal? Jack asked. Zalira reached out and touched her son's face. No, it's not, but maybe it's destiny. Meanwhile, deep in space, aboard the Royal Valoran flagship, alarms went off. An old console, long silent, lit up. Forbidden signature detected, a voice echoed. The guards looked at each other. What kind of signature? One asked. The officer stared at the readings, his face pale. Ancient royal energy. Rebirth code, it's her and something else. The message reached King Malveth moments later. He stared at the report. Hybrid airborne, power active. His wine glass shattered in his hand. Back on the ship, Jack rocked the baby gently. What do we name him? Zalira didn't hesitate. Valian. Jack blinked. What does it mean? She smiled weakly. In my language, it means hope made real. Jack looked down at the child. He looks like trouble. Then he takes after his father. She teased. They both laughed. But deep inside, they knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy had changed. And someone, somewhere, was already preparing to strike again. The stars were no longer silent. They whispered. They watched. And now, they waited. Far from Earth, beyond asteroid belts and dying moons, the old Valoran capital buzzed with fear. Royal couriers ran through marble halls. Warships launched without orders. Priests spoke of ancient prophecies once thought forgotten. All because of one thing. The hybrid child had been born. And the king knew. King Malveth stood alone in the royal tower, staring at a star map flickering before him. The glowing red dot marked the child's ship, small, fast, unarmed, but glowing with an energy he could not ignore. The bloodline survived. He whispered bitterly. An aide stepped forward. Shall we destroy them, Your Majesty? The king didn't answer. Instead, he turned to an old book, a forbidden one locked for generations. Inside were the words of the seers. From broken womb and outsider seed a child shall rise, not heir by law, but chosen by light, one who cannot be silenced, only followed. Malveth's hand trembled. In deep space, Zalira's ship drifted quietly, cloaked in shadows. Jack repaired a damaged console while Bolt guarded the hatch. In the medbay, Zalira cradled her newborn Valian, who now slept peacefully, or so it seemed. Sometimes his tiny eyes opened, and the ship responded. Lights flickered, air vents adjusted. Once, the navigation system turned before Jack even touched it. He's not just smart, Jack said. He's connected. Zalira nodded. He was born of two worlds, but shaped by something older. What does that mean? Before she could answer, the ship's alarm blared. Bolt spun. Unidentified cruiser approaching. Large. Royal. Signature confirmed. Jack's eyes widened. The king. Outside, a massive golden ship dropped from hyperspace. Silent, majestic, terrifying. No guns fired, no fighters launched, just one smaller vessel descended. Slowly. Towards Zalira's. It docked without force. Jack grabbed his weapon. It's a trick. No, Zalira said softly, handing Valian to him. It's pride. He came alone because he believes we are beneath him. The door opened, and the king stepped in. His royal cloak floated behind him, his face still and cold, but his eyes flicked to the child in Jack's arms. That, he said, is not my grandson. Zalira stepped forward, calm and firm. You're right. He is not your heir. He is the future. Malveth's jaw clenched. You betray your blood. I saved it, she replied. You were ready to end our line over fear. This child is not the end of Valora. He is the start of something better. Jack stepped closer. And if you try to hurt him, you'll have to go through me. The king raised a hand. I don't need to hurt him. Valian opened his eyes. They glowed, blinding gold and deep human blue. The lights in the ship surged. Malveth stumbled. What is this? The baby floated from Jack's arms. Not high, just inches, but enough. Enough to prove he wasn't ordinary. The ship's systems lit up in full power. Royal access, ancient codes, emergency override. Salira watched as the ship bowed. Not to Jack, but to the child. He has chosen, she whispered. Malveth stared, frozen. For the first time in his long rule, the king felt small. He turned slowly. He will divide our people. No, Salira said, he will unite them. The king paused at the door. Your son is dangerous, Jack smiled. Only to tyrants. And with that, the king left. No army, no war. Just silence. Later, as the stars calmed again, Salira held Valian close. He didn't cry when the king came, Jack whispered. No, she said, he didn't need to. 1 year later, across planets, messages spread. A child born, of 2 worlds. The last princess now queen in exile. The bloodline not broken, but reborn. And far in the stars on a new world, a small city began to rise. Not human, not Vyloran. Something new. Led by a glowing child, whose very first cry had changed the galaxy forever.